Okay, Kala, I'm in the zone. Time to create some distractions. Let's see. Oh, look, notifications. Kala, did you check out that picture on Instagram? Sorry. Let's try blackout.
Blackout created.
Oh shit, it's already daylight. Let's try something else. Oh wait, the app is updating. Damn you. Okay. Now let's try this.
Pizza ordered.
Shit, I didn't order a pizza. I wanted the traffic lights to switch. Damn you. No.
Battery low.
What? No, I just charged it. Who has been playing Candy Crush on my phone during these battery apps? Yep. Oh my. Carla isn't going to be happy about this. Should have bought a Nokia.
Watch Dogs was once rumored to be made as modern-day Assassin's Creed game, and even though the inspiration seems to reflect in the game, but it's an altogether different beast, which is a good thing. Combining successful formulas of stealth games like Splinter Cell and open world free running of Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs is able to maintain its own identity due to its plethora of hacking abilities which form the core essence of the game, making it stand out from the crowd. The game setting is something you would find in movies like Enemy of the State, Eagle Eye or Person of Interest, where everything is connected on a network and accessible to powerful government agencies as well as hackers. From personal information to control of vulnerable electronics is now possible through this system. The presentation of the story is pretty strong in the game right from the beginning, and it never loses its grip even in later stages. The game puts us in the shoes of Aiden Pierce, who is shown to have lost his niece and is now out for revenge. Although the start of the story is from a pretty common revenge scenario, but the story evolves into much bigger conspiracy, which I will not take the liberty to talk about to avoid any spoilers. Voice acting is top notch, and from expression of emotions to darkness of the story are portrayed very well by the cast. When it comes to gameplay, Watch Dogs is as good as what was shown in the trailers for a long time to us. Whether it's the stealth infiltration to chase scenes on foot or running away from cops on the road, your hack tools will come into major play. Don't expect to play the game like Grand Theft Auto, where just speeding through the streets will make you lose the cops, as you need to rely on your hacking tools to create distractions, hack signals, explode circuits and vents to create or close the gap between you and your enemies. Although the hacking opportunities are plenty, but all of them are controlled by one key. So you just have to aim right at the tool to hack it properly. This can be a nuisance when you are trying to concentrate on chasing someone and you are accidentally activating all the wrong traps. I do wish they had used more keys to assign particular hacks on various keys to avoid such mishap, but other than that, if you are careful enough to keep your aim right, then you can plan some cool sabotage that work out just the way you plan in your head. The game is not all about passive shadow play, as the gunplay in the game is solid as well. Although initially you may feel a bit underpowered, but once you realize that a plethora of upgrades for hacks as well as for weapons await you, you can find really good upgrades that can make a difference to your aggressive skill set as well. Even the delicacy of shooting someone in the kneecap just to disable them is there, rather than shooting them, which would increase your notoriety level. The sound effects play an important part in adding the depth, with sound effects being crisp and clear make the gun sound even more deadlier than the apparent looks. The worst part I found in the gameplay was its driving controls, which are just sloppy and slippery. While you could do perfect turns and may be able to pierce through heavy traffic unharmed in Grand Theft Auto, here the driving controls just made it very difficult experience for me, especially with the fast cars, to control them because the cars slip too much and the controls are a bit too much responsive while traveling. It all felt like traveling on frictionless, well-oiled roads. It may take some players to get used to learn proper driving, but for me, I still am feeling uncomfortable whenever I am behind the wheel in this game. Coming to the graphics of the game has been through a roller coaster of phases. It was hailed as the first true next-gen title, and that is why much pressure rested on its shoulder. But at the same time, it tried to balance its visuals so that it could also run on old-gen machines. The end result was that the game didn't look as good as it used to do in the initial trailers, but it still looks darn beautiful. Of course, there are PC hacks or mods available to uncover the hidden render setting, which can make the game look like trailer version, but even in its default setting, especially with the latest patch release recently, the game looks pretty darn good and performs stutter-free on PC. In no game have I admired the nighttime view, but Watch Dogs tries to maintain its color saturation even at night. But what really looks beautiful in Virtual Chicago is its foliage under wind. You can see the trees sway, leaves flowing around, and each blade of grass dancing with it. It is a view that cannot be justified in screenshots or YouTube videos and has to be experienced on screen in 180p by yourself. The crowds are not just there for aesthetic sense, but add to the gameplay as you can run profiler on them, read their ongoing conversations, hack their ATMs, which make you wonder how much extensive work developers had put into populating this world with realistic NPCs rather than just random AI robots. Multiplayer is not an aspect mostly discussed with single-player centric games like Assassin's Creed Black Flag or in this case Watch Dogs. But recently what developers have been doing with multiplayer is pretty unique. Take examples of games like SimCity and Need for Speed Rivals and you will understand how multiplayer has evolved beyond just arena matches, which used to be the primary multiplayer mode before. Watch Dogs adopts the modern philosophy of merging single player with multiplayer as you continue to play in your single player world, while your online session will be connected with 8 other players as well as in free roam mode. To each player, his own character will appear as alien pairs, while the other players appear as other NPCs. There are specific competitive multiplayer modes as well, most prominent of which would be Intrusion mode, which is a modern hacking version of hide and seek as player tries to hack you while hiding and you must find them and stop them. Other game modes included are tailing, similar to Intrusion mode but involves more legwork, Decryption mode, which is similar to Capture the Flag with up to 8 players. The last game mode is Online Race mode, which will probably be the least fun for most as it is simply about racing. Multiplayer might not be a big selling point for the game, but it certainly adds a lot of gameplay hours as well as paranoia modes to the table for Watch Dogs. Lastly, I would like to mention about the CTOS mobile app. Companion apps have come a long way since the early days of being only a guide or stats tracker. With Watch Dogs Companion CTOS app, you will be able to play as an adversary to your friend during online races. You can challenge them on pre-made or self-made racetracks and then hack ambushes to create hurdles in their path. The desktop or console player must drive through real-time hacking attempts and cross all the checkpoints in time to win, else the mobile player wins. This again adds a more competitive and additional game mode for free. This app is available on iOS App Store as well as Google Play Store. Overall, it is an amazing game which is a great addition to Ubisoft's family of great games. It's not a perfect game, there are issues with its controls especially during driving and you may experience some performance issues as well, but those are very minor. Beyond those issues, it nicely fulfills its promise of providing a modern, hacking-oriented open-world stealth game, which has a strong world setting, rich presentation and a believable world to immerse you in. Overall, we give it 8 out of 10.